Hey guys, welcome to episode number 3 of VAtsim for Dummies. This one we're going to be going over how to get a craft clearance, otherwise known as an IFR clearance. You're going to need to do this anytime you're in like an airliner or just anytime you're flying under IFR conditions or IFR rules. So here we are in Charlotte. We're going to go ahead and connect to the network. We're Spirit 1928 and A320. We're now connected, and as you guys remember from the last video, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to put a card up here. Go and watch that video before you watch this one because I explained how to file a flight plan. So we already get used to briefed, filed flight plan. Let's go ahead and fetch it from the server, as you can see here, Charlotte to Chicago. File it, and now we're going to go ahead and look down this list and see who is online. So at Charlotte, we do not have clearance delivery online. So instead, we're going to go over to the next best thing, which is ground. This is in order of who you're going to contact. So ATIS is just an advisory, so this is not actual people you're talking to. So skip ATIS. Who would we contact first? Clearance. If they're not available, ground, and so on. Say ground's not available, then you would contact tower first. So start from the bottom and see who's the first one online. So in this case, it is ground. So let's go ahead and tune the ground frequency 121.9.
Please say that again.
All right, so now we can hear them. Now we're tuned.
No problem.
And anytime that I am getting an IFR clearance, I go ahead and go into my Navigraph. Let me just load the plan
Charlotte
real
ground
quick.
hello again, orbit 27 is ready for taxi.
So Charlotte to O'Hare. I like to go into my Navigraph, or you can even do this on SimBrief because it has the route on there, and have the route up here ready. Because most likely what they're going to do
you have clearance, right?
is they're going to give you the route that you have filed. So they're going to say, Spirit Wings 1928 cleared to Chicago via the JoJo 4 departure Dodge transition. So it's good to just have it ready, so then that way it's right in front of you in case you forget it. So I like to have it just on the other screen here. But let's go ahead and get our craft clearance. Now to do this, you want to make sure you have a writing utensil and something you can write on. So I'm going to use my iPad here, and as you can see, or you can't really, but there it is. You write the words craft down the line, and what this stands for, the C is for cleared to. So the airport, the route, the altitude, the frequency, and the transponder. So what they're going to do is they're going to say cleared to Chicago via the route. They're going to tell us the altitude that we're going to climb to, the frequency that we're going to tune to for departure, and then the transponder is the squawk code that you would put in the Airbus right over here. I want to add here, just because I know a lot of people are nervous for the first time talking to ATC, or even if you've just started and you're a beginner at it, the easiest thing for you to do is expect what they're going to tell you. So in this situation, we're asking for a clearance. So what are we expecting them to tell us our clearance? And we have this craft clearance. We have this craft written down for a reason, because it makes it so we know exactly what we're about to hear. We're about to hear what airport we're cleared to, the route, the altitude, the frequency, and the squawk code. So we already know what we're about to hear. So it makes it a lot easier once you start expecting what to hear. And then there's a rough outline for talking to ATC, and it is who you're talking to. So you state who you're talking to, you state who you are, which is your call sign, and then you state what you want. So for example, for an IFR clearance, Charlotte ground, Spirit Wings 1928, looking for IFR clearance over to Chicago. So we stated who they are, so like who we're talking to, who we are, and then what we want. For a taxi clearance, it's the same thing. Charlotte ground, Spirit Wings 1928, ready for taxi. So it's the same outline no matter what. There's obviously a little changes here and there depending on the situation, but it's usually the same outline. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's go ahead and contact them. I'm going to record my screen as I'm writing it down so you guys can see what it looks like.
1983, ready for tax. Are we looking for an IFR verbal clearance?
After that, we're looking for a regular just craft clearance over to Chicago.
Spirit Wings 1928 is cleared to the Chicago O'Hare International Airport via the JoJo for departure due to transition, then as filed. Maintain 8,000. Departure is 120.5. And squawk 5706.
All right, Roger, cleared to Chicago O'Hare via the JoJo for departure, Dooge transition, then as filed. Climb to 8,000. Departure is on 120.5, squawk 5706 for Spirit Wings 1928. Thanks.
Spirit Wings 1928, read back is correct. Contact me ready for taxi.
Right to that, we'll contact when ready for taxi. All right, guys, so as you can see from the iPad and from the voice, I wrote down dudes because I didn't quite hear what he's saying, but as long as you write down what's similar, that's why you have your route pulled up while you're looking, or while you're getting your clearance, because I wrote down dudes, but it's actually Doge or whatever it is, but it doesn't matter. So now that I have it pulled up, we know that we're cleared to Chicago via the JoJo for departure, Doge transition. And then he gave us 8,000 on the altitude. So at this point, we would want to tune or put 8,000 up here. And then he said departure frequency is 120.5. So we're going to go over here and go 120. And now that is ready. And then the last thing he said was squawk 5706. So as I said, transponders over here on the Airbus 706, and you turn it on. So that is how you get your route cleared to an airport with an IFR clearance, or also known as a craft clearance, because that is the way that you write it down and the way that it's easy to write and speak. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments. But the biggest thing with an IFR clearance is write down craft, and it will make it 10 times easier.